Good morning.
Good morning, your card.
She reminds me all the time what I have to bring. And this show is for entertainment only, not only.
And we hope
spiritual only and entertainment as well. 1% entertainment.
and we're very entertaining and
So-
entertained.
Yeah. So I will start with my idea that whoever is going to run for position like Senate or Congress, even for presidency, they should go for colonoscopy. I was checking with Cheryl if colonoscopy is the upper part and no, that endoscopy and then colonoscopy, especially Margie Taylor Greene. They will know in advance what she's going to pull out of her. Today she said that she wants to make divorce between in the country. If they know advance, maybe people wouldn't vote on her. Just giving ideas.
She's in one of her moods today.
And I have the yellow and blue.
And I just have the yellow, sorry.
I should have told her, but then I was going to wear the black outfit. Okay, so thank you, Janice, to be sweet 1111, group 66.
Patty Thompson, Ann Herman, BP,
BP,
Nikki Elders,
so
Sayla V, Sue Walton, Magic Moy, Starlight Gazer, Janice Sabatini, Kim King. Oh, thank you very much for joining us and for subscribing and continuing on with us. If you remember the last time, Violetta had mentioned that a draw will not be taking place at the end of every video anymore. And what she's going to do is to, in many ways, reward her loyal subscribers who attend, listen to all the readings, etc. But she's going to do it in such a way that she will just surprise somebody at the end with the draw. It won't be announced in advance.
So I'm not going for advance, but I will be doing them often enough because I still have 14 to go.
Yeah, and so this is in thank you to Janet and Tom Burke.
Yeah.
And so it'll be a surprise. So you don't know you're entering for a draw or for a free reading. You have no idea. And then hopefully you'll be really, really surprised and enjoy the readings. I'm sure you will.
And I have the question from the last our meeting when we left you guys, and Cheryl asked me about Matt Gates. Apparently he's not going to be charged. So she asked, will he be charged with a bigger crime? And I saw the door, and I saw his nose growing. So there will be more lies. They will be looking for some lies, Pinocchio nose. And then, and I saw the door like that was removed. They were not going like this way. They put that on the side. There was empty hole. So they have to replace the door. But it wasn't there. So they might be doing some charges and put the better tool with,
catch him with something else.
With something else. That's just, I don't understand how to read that one, but then it's food for the thought for you guys to read that.
Get in the mind of Violetta.
Well, yeah.
I'm still trying after all these years.
I can't get into my mind. I can read my husband's mind so fast, faster than he can think. Poor guy.
MBG is asking, will there be earthquakes in Lebanon?
Oh, and the people of Turkey, my gosh.
Second one, yeah. 1, 2, 3.
All that area are on the shaky ground. So there will be, I don't know how big and how far ahead, but there will be some and it will be some place that it's like a church, like a temple. They are waiting for something like this, but it will be shared with other places as well. So there will be those places are like East Coast in Canada.
When things start to move, they start to move underneath.
And I see more shaky places, more earthquake all over the world right now. Somehow, when one starts, then they are going everywhere.
Nikki Elders is asking, recently you said that something so bad and so big would happen before we come together and work together again. What would that be, and will it be soon?
The time, it's not that I can relate to, because there is no time in the universe, kind of.
No, there isn't. 1, 2, 3.
It is the symbol of don't go there, forbidden places. When there is avalanche, you can't go there. When there is that relaying, it's don't go there. So there are places that it's dangerous after something happened, and that's what I see. We will learn the secrets in a while. We are waiting for more earthquakes. I was just saying that, and a lot of excitement, a lot of fires as well.
So be prepared.
We all,
Salevi is asking, when will the U.S. housing market be a buyer's market again?
I was answering this question yesterday to my friend, and I told her the prices will go up and up and up. I'm
For
35,
houses.
35 years in Canada, and we could buy a townhouse for 32,000. And now you have to pay. And the same house, townhouse was on sale. I was waiting for my husband in a car, and I was looking at the townhouse was for sale 1 hour, because 1 hour later they took the sign, and it was 280,000, and it was sold. The same townhouse, much older. The same. It was next to the hospital.
So when will the U.S. housing market be a buyer's market again? 1, 2, 3.
Okay, one thing is going down, another is going up. So if the houses prices will go reasonably down, the mortgages will go up, and it's this way or the other. There will be always some opportunities. So watch for that, and have the lawyer ready. It will be more in a secluded area, not as popular, not as in need, in demand.
Sweet and salty 1111. What can we expect from now through the rest of the year in America? What changes are coming in 2024? One, 2, 3.
This divided. The country will be divided. You have to be prepared. It's like splitting the willow branch, and it's easy. It's bending, so you will be some people will pull this way, another that way, and it will be the country will be divided because of the political. Some will be, wow, ladies will be dominating something, and women will get out of the household, and they will be more into politics.
Wow. Who would have ever thought that?
Well, I never even thought that I would be interested in politics. That was the most boring thing for me when I was studying, taking course to be tourist going with tourists to another countries and be translator. So I had to learn politics about different countries to at least know something. I was forcing myself to read in newspapers. I was forcing myself to memorize those names. Everything, it was forcing myself to do it. Now, when no one is forcing me to do it, I'm doing this because I love it to be informed. But when I was young,
I have read so many books in the past few years. And what is interesting is that it affects us. This is about democracy, and this is about corruption, and it's not just in the US, it's everywhere. And so it's best to be educated on so many different fronts and then come up with your own thoughts.
But in Poland, that was the narrow path that they want you to think about the world. The propaganda was so harsh.
I love being on the edge and pushing things.
Yeah.
I've always been that way.
But it was, you can't think this way, you have to think this way. So it was, and the news was so absolutely boring. Some speeches of those party guys going visiting some farm place where there was hundreds of people working on the one farmland. Nothing interesting.
BP and Ann Herman are commenting about your beautiful colors of blue and yellow.
Thank you.
And as soon as I walked in the door, she says, that's what I'm wearing in celebration of that.
Because celebration, it is the sad anniversary. But yesterday, how brave Biden was. He knew that Russians will be testing some bombs. And even that, they gave them warning. He didn't back up. He went over there and did the visit. That must infuriate Putin. He was probably so upset.
When Putin gave his talk, his speech, he didn't have anybody in the audience there's one guy even sleeping, but nobody had an expression on their face. They just were all.
Oh, yeah.
And so then
made them to go.
Yeah. And then I asked you after, is this going to be the turning point for Putin? Because he is gung-ho about creating havoc. And how many of those whose families, whose lives, whose livelihood are dependent upon Russia not being in a war as bad as what Putin is aiming for?
And I thought about this. I thought those oligarchs must be furious that they can't go freely to the West.
Oh, isn't that a shame?
It is.
It's all the Russians' money that they're using.
So. They were so happy to travel. The kids were able to study. They have those huge yachts. They can't use them. They were lost it. That part of the society is so upset with them, and the other part, the people, average people who are losing kids, or the young boys who run away to the neighbor countries. Mm-hmm. Everything is in shaky, so it's not that.
There were even some who crossed over to an Alaskan island.
Yes, you sent me that video.
They're escaping.
They are escaping anyway. They are risking lives to just escape. So they came to USA, to Alaska to ask for. That's
but it's not their dream, and it's not the dream of our children.
And no one wants to leave your country. Believe me, I was in England and I went to Poland. I wanted to live in Poland. And then there was martial law. And I started thinking, no, I can't give that lifestyle to my kids. I don't want the body of my child to be drawn on the street. So those mothers are thinking like I was thinking. No. They want to run away from the country as well.
Yeah, we want them to have a better life than we had. Frida's asking, will Alex Murdaugh,
okay.
Murdaugh be found guilty? The lawyer. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
No one trusts him. He is very. So everyone knows that he did that. Even his son is saying, oh, he was taking baths during the day.
And changed his clothes. He always does that.
But he didn't have motivation that he had sex or he had work hard. Those are usually the reasons that people will take a bath during the day. Or they came from the hard physical work and they want to wash themselves. So there was no explanation why he did that. We don't know even what the weather was. It was in the evening. So why would he do that during the day? He could wait until he will be going to bed. We all share that. And it's all about the money. How he spent $10 million on what? In a few years, he spent $10 million. What was his problem? And he was worried about money, and there was dysfunctional in the family. His wife was probably telling him that she wants divorce. I think eventually, 3 more cards because I want
one.
Hope I'm not pulling the same.
2, 3. Will he be found guilty?
Because I saw him being no one will trust him. They will think about this, some surprise and a big battle. Yeah, he will be probably putting in the prison and he will have a battle. But and that will be a surprise for him because he thinks the lawyers can do whatever they can do.
Dwight Lindgren, Grom, Lindgron. Will the grand jury lady talking hurt the case in Georgia?
Okay. When I was watching her, I felt like when I was 15, 16, 17, I was visiting my grandfather for 2 weeks always with my first cousin. She was 1 year younger than me, Barbara. And our duty was going to the store to buy bread. Mm-hmm. The bread was, oh, good. I would die for that bread. But by the time we were coming home, we eat it from both sides. And then Grandpa was cheating which one was who will eat it. But that's not the point. And it was a gathering place for all the ladies who were gossiping in the village. They were coming there and they were. And I thought.
We don't do that.
No.
We don't do that. We just look at each other and talk.
But that was and everyone heard them. Not that and she's, the one who will be gossiping the most. Oh, did you see her? He is coming to visit her in the evening and she is talking to him through the window. And then she wouldn't say anymore. So it was giving everyone that your brain is working. I don't think she was professionally prepared for not talking, like she shouldn't talk.
They talked about that this morning, a lawyer's perspective. And he said the only thing that she shouldn't have said, which isn't going to really cause any problems, he thought, because he deals with law and things like that. He was on MSNBC. And he said she shouldn't have said that there were more than 10 or 12 indictments coming. And the rest of it, he says, she really didn't give a lot of information. So,
but it is that kind of nasty.
But she shouldn't have done it in advance.
I did it. We were coming with my sister, first cousin. We called each other sisters in Polish. And we were coming home and, who they were talking about? By the time that we were 2 weeks there, we knew every gossip in the... So the grandpa was saying, at least I don't have to listen to those gossipers. But that was such a thing in the little village. So this woman thinks it can come from me. They will know my version. Mm-hmm. So she wants to feel, I don't like that. No.
Yeah, it's not likable, but it said that it will be challenged. They were expecting it to be challenged, but there's no grounds for it to stand on. So we'll have to see.
They will put a zip on her mouth eventually because someone will tell.
Well, it's going to interfere with fair elections.
Yeah.
Lori Sue Reagan Clamped.
We have to question, will China attack Taiwan? I want to answer that.
1,
Sorry.
2, 3.
they are waiting. I don't know why they are waiting. They are waiting in a chair, like waiting room chair. So they are waiting for something to start. And that will affect the whole easy supply from China for us. Yeah, sitting on the chair talking about this, because they want to have better harvest by owning Taiwan. And it is, they want to have fun that way. They want to show West that they are capable of doing this. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine.
You know, that I thought it's going to the top and I want to.
So are they waiting for the next election to take place and see whether or not Republicans come in more?
Well, that's 2 more years, I don't.
Well, that's a year, well, a little over a year.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3.
They were waiting for the time that the virus will not be that damaging to
Well, they're on their 6th wave.
Yeah, and they are still going through the tower. I see them walking through the tower. So they want to finish that journey and then they can start, because, you know, it will cause them more movements and more. So President Xi is waiting for China, and then he will get out of his cave and start doing. Yeah, I bet yesterday they were talking about this with Putin. I thought that long time ago that they wanted to do that. I'm sorry.
Lori Sue Cragen Clamp. It is purported that February 23rd will bring an important declaration from Russia, though certainly not an offer to leave Ukraine. What are your intuitive impressions on this?
24th,
23rd.
23rd.
We're the 21st.
Tomorrow.
2 days.
And that's the anniversary.
1, 2, 3.
I see a jeep. Putin is in a jeep. They are driving through the muddy environment of the jungle. The windows are covered with mud, and he don't know where he's going. He's so desperate, and he's putting all the power to the truck jeep to move forward. He is desperate. He will do crazy things because he wants to get out of the jungle. And he knows that country is dysfunctional now for him. He doesn't have the support. Those people who were on the stadium yesterday, they were partying people. They were checked so mad, you know, they get there by invitation. In Poland, when Biden went, everyone was free. There was no borders. Everyone could come, everyone could leave. And it was 6 p.m. Everyone was so happy to and it was not Biden's country, it was Poland. So it was showing completely different environment for. So he would like to push boundaries for to negotiate and fulfill his dreams. He would do.
They're only his dreams.
It's only his, and he's stuck in the jeep. That it's getting dark. When I saw this, and he is so not the best vision for him, but he is desperate to push every button to get out of that mud and get out of the jungle, that he doesn't feel safe. Because when you are in that kind of situation, you don't feel safe. So he doesn't feel safe anymore in his own country.
Pretty O. My question is with Trump's new lawyer, the $1 billion lawyer. Will he help Trump get off from the charges in Georgia?
Oh, I didn't even know about the new lawyer.
Well, that was a while ago. He was hired.
Oh, maybe. Okay.
1, 2, 3.
It is like he is giving papers and the papers drop out of his hands. So I don't think he will be that successful because he will have to be in a panic mood to pull those papers and put them together.
So there'd be more show to it than.
He will be unprepared the last moment. It looks like he will drop everything on the floor and he will be collecting. Something will shock him. He will be up and down. He wants the rainbow of a GOP family or Trump family, but he will not do the best job. He will not be very well prepared. It will be irresponsible.
Well, with Trump, you never know what's going to come at you.
Yeah, but it is like someone who is going for the conference with the bosses and she is dropping the papers and then in a panic she's putting and they are disorganized.
Mm-hmm. Starlight Glazer is asking, do spirits see us or just feel our energy?
Oh. My spirit is flying a little plane around me. He can see me. That's what I saw a moment ago. So I think my spirit and my angels, they when I'm doing readings, I think they are enjoying this so much that they make me to have fun when I'm answering questions, and then I'm asking myself, how did I knew that? And because like yesterday, I was doing private reading and I said, oh, there will be a leakage in the roof. And she said, it was already. So, those little things like that, I'm asking myself, it's not me. I didn't came up with that. No, it is someone who is giving me advices. Thank you. Thank you, Monarch, and thank you, my angel.
Group 66 says we could feel a small earthquake here in Denmark, but a very small one.
Amy, oh my gosh, even in Denmark.
Amy 1 is saying, will Marjorie Taylor Greene ever be removed from Congress?
After colonoscopy, maybe.
Colonoscopy, yeah.
I don't know what is hiding there.
1, 2, 3.
Oof. No, she will use her claw and she will be fighting. There are people who loves her. And she will go one way or another, balancing. Eventually, she will be backstabbed. So it's only up to people that they will remove her. But at the beginning, she will be loved. And eventually, she will make so much damage that
that would probably be on the next election for the House, which is in 2 years.
Yeah.
Sister Sheba is asking, will harm come from Kevin McCarthy giving Tucker Carlson access to all the J6 security tapes? Will Carlson share them with Putin? Tucker Carlson.
He received make the letters
with the F. Yes, Tucker Carlson. So will Kevin McCarthy will giving the information, the access to Tucker Carlson. Will harm come from that? 1, 2, 3.
He will be mad in the water. Still, he will be able to do some math. I don't know if it will be eventually that the water will clear up, but he will try to map the water. He will feel so important, sleeping on it, and then he will be replaced with a lady. He may lose his job eventually.
Yeah, there was some talk that he was thinking of moving to another network or something. Will Carlson share the information with Putin?
Oh. So that you will say Trump. 3 cards.
1, 2, 3.
It is nothing that it can shock Putin. And there is nothing that
What's about security?
it is, and they will have to rearrange the security, and I think they will eventually backstab Tucker Carlson, because if he will start making the water dirty, that they will put a lid on him. Oh yeah, he might not do this to Putin, because all the secrets will come out, and his dreams will be affected because of that. So I don't think he will be brave enough to go to Putin with it.
Sherry's asking, is the girl from Poland claiming to be missing Madeleine McCann? Is it really her?
You
I
have
showed you a picture of her.
picture, yes.
Yeah, I sent that picture to you.
And I was saying that then I used to paint.
Used to.
Well, I don't have time to paint.
I know.
But because I was, well, when I started painting, I noticed how many beautiful colors are in snow when you are driving. How many different shadows, and then green, how many different greens colors. And then I noticed so many things. Like, we grew up with one boy, he's in Canada with us, and I said, Christopher, I never noticed that you have a broken nose. With you, I noticed right away.
Yeah, my nose was broken when I was hit by a car when I was 6.
And he said, oh, I had this when I was a kid. But when you are painting, you are paying attention. This girl from Poland, her eyes are not as deep as the young picture of apparently her. The lips are not the same. And I don't think it is the same girl. That's my intuition, because she'll show me, and I said, it's the girl from England will have a little bit wider nose eventually. Even the noses are getting smaller, but Ivanka's nose got really small, narrow, but then she had so many operations. I sent you that video about her changing through the lifetime. But usually the noses are growing bigger, not smaller. And the Polish girl has very nice narrow nose. Not that the little girl didn't have nice nose, but it will grow a little bit bigger.
1, 2, 3.
The death card. Secure. And this girl wants to get some financial security and fulfill her dreams. But I don't think this
It
is...
said over the years, 3 others have tried to lay claim to that.
And all of them were proven guilty. So she's going to check her DNA, and I'm not seeing her being the same. The original girl, I don't her eyes were Madeline were deeper, and you can't fake that, and much bigger than the Polish girl.
Your girlfriend Beverly.
Hello, Beverly. Oh, she shouldn't be here. Oh, but maybe the last week.
When we're all done, the video, the lives, I always take screenshots of all the questions so that they can be asked at some point, so they're not lost. They're passed even on to Violetta to answer later.
Much.
So Beverly's asking, do you have any insight about the killing of Bishop O'Connor, I'm sorry, the killing of Bishop O'Connor in Los Angeles recently? 1, 2, 3.
It is something related to domestic problems. So it is someone very close to him. Male, he has a problem with this bishop, and they came to the arguments. I think money is involved. The guy fulfilled his dreams, and then they went into a fight. he thought that he did a good job. Maybe Bishop didn't vote that way. So something, we don't hear too much about that story in Canada, but we will know more.
Darina, I pronounced your name wrong, DARINA, OBERTIK. Can you see any improvement in South Africa's electricity supply? We have permanent load shedding right now, 5 times a day, 2.5 hours at a time, suffering lots.
I remember those times in Poland when we had martial law. You were walking always with the candle. Three cards.
1, 2, 3.
They have to rebuild everything, the structure. It's like building, waiting for the tree to grow. So they have to wait a little bit for everything to be built up, to grow. Yeah, from the beginning, they have that, they need a cure for that. And some people will be running away somewhere else because they will have enough of that treatment. It's not safe when there is no electricity on the streets. No, you can't drive because the lights are not working. You can't walk in the evening because the lights are not working. Everything, and you are starting this, do laundry, and the machine is not working. Oh gosh, and you never knew. You never knew when it will happen. We had some ideas, but usually it was in the evenings, and oh gosh.
Patty, you're asking a question about remedy for migraine headache, and Violetta, just do a real quick little thing.
Yeah, for the migrants. So
yeah, and to go back into the timestamps of different readings before.
I did that. So have 2 buckets of cold water and hot water. First, put the ice in the cold water and put your hands as long as you can hold it, and then very hot water. Not
so cold first or hot first?
First. I'm always cold. Well, I'm not having migraines. Not my excuse in life to not.
So cold with ice cubes in it?
Yes.
Okay.
But hold as long as you can, and then put this in the hot water, not too hot, not to boil yourself, but keep the kettle adding water, and it will shock the brain. And that one I read in the 1800s medical book.
And Glimera, GLIMMERA. The airflow from Ohio goes into Pennsylvania. What do you see environmentally for Pennsylvania from the train derailment?
I said in the previous video, there will be acid rains, so it will be different places, different time.
1, 2, 3.
It will even reach Canada. It will go east and then north. So it will even reach Canada. A lot of casualties, a lot of suffering, a lot of people sick, and a lot of charges will be put for the railings and so on.
They're already starting their class action suits. Yeah. But as one person had nicely written in the comments, most of it goes to the lawyers, so they just love it. I mean, can you imagine the lawyers who are employed right now by all these cases, except for the ones of Trump's, that he doesn't pay his lawyers? Tara 999, will the coronation of King Charles go smooth without problems? One, 2, 3.
Careful, will be very nervous. I can see you. But everything will go fine. There will be a lot of security. I don't see Meghan there. And I said that I don't see none of them on the balcony.
They were told they can't be on the balcony, the same as Andrew.
And yeah, people will be trying to be nice to him, not as popular because Queen was the one that they loved, but they will accept the fact that he is the leader of the country and they will try to give him respect. It will be more countries that will sign out of the crown.
Australia was thinking about it. I wanted to, when we get comments, and particularly they were addressed to me in some way, the different places that I go for listening to different websites on spirituality. And so I did up a quick one today, and I'll just put it up on the screen, and then you can stop it and have a look at the different sites. But hopefully, so there's the first part of it. And there's the last part of it. And what these are really about is that, like the one about Robert Schwartz, discover why the world can be such an ugly place. And that's right now. Yeah. And why things are happening. That's a really interesting one. Really one. Yeah, I did it twice. Okay. Yeah. So that's the first one. Discover why the world can be such an ugly place. And then we might be living in higher dimensions unknowingly. And that's about the 5 levels going into the 5th dimension. And that was interesting because it shows the ascension of not only individuals, but of the planet. Dolores Cannon on life after death. That was really interesting too. And Earth. Mm-hmm. And then another one by Robert Schwartz. Earth has reached the end of a 26,000 year spiritual cycle. A new world is dawning. And they all tie together. And it is such an interesting time, again, for us to be alive, to have chosen to come back during this time. I mean,
and we have choices.
We always have choices.
To come back and even point the people that will have unfinished business, the karma. Sometimes we don't want to deal with them, but even the worst situation in my life changed for better for me. Being in the orphanage for 1 year taught me to adjust so easy to people, to survive, because I was between age 6 and 7. And it was not happy time for me to be separated from everyone. Mm-hmm. And my mom had tuberculosis, so she couldn't see me. And my parents were separated that time, so Dad didn't even knew where we are. And I was different place. My brother was different place. But we both are very street smart. My brother is really good with people. I'm good with people. Those things that are horrible for kids, eventually, they are better. I wish I was more stubborn and I was sending my sons more for the camps, because they have to mature and they have to rely on themselves.
Mm-hmm. And it's interesting for me. I married my childhood sweetheart. We're married 25 years. When I left him, very wealthy, and I chose to leave and return back to university. And of course, he didn't want me there. And I went for another 4 years. So I thought, okay, there was enough going on in my life that I chose to leave it. But that's my turning point. So when I say that, even though I'm 72, I feel like I'm 48. My divorce came through when I was 47. And it just opened up a whole new path for me. And I found that I was living my family's life and my children's life, not mine. And there was such a draw in me that I had more to do, that I'd signed up for more this lifetime than I was doing just being a homemaker. And I could always volunteer and never get paid for it, but I was still working. But it was those time periods, you look and see what doors are opening and what is good for you. What is your soul calling you for? And that's where, like when I listen to these things, they resonate with me. If they don't resonate with you, as Robert Schwartz says, then they're not meant for you right now. But you never know. I have gone back to old books that I have and I read them again. And all of a sudden I think, it didn't even resonate with me when I read it the first time, because I wasn't ready to hear that. Mm-hmm. And then later on, it fits just perfect. So there are different things in our lives that push us to making decisions. And so, do what's best for you, because it's your soul and you have to love yourself, because you're the only person that's with yourself the entire life. Mm-hmm. So make it a good life for yourself.
And I was always fanatic to go to museums. My husband is the same way. I'm lucky. My father-in-law said, "How can you prefer to go
Oh, I love museums.
instead of shopping?" I said, "Well, that's not for us. We love to go to the museums." So he said, "You found each other in a hay of to meet those in a haystack." But it is, and it was paying eventually in the business that we opened, because we were able to learn about antiques, kind of just observing them. And sometimes someone in the museum will inform you, but not always. But by just living that life. And then I was going from gallery to gallery when I was living in England, good galleries I was visiting. And when we went to Paris or Venice, yeah, it was such a good experience for me to see those things.
And that last one that I mentioned about, discover why the world can be such an ugly place with Robert Schwartz. He talks about the soul planning and how we make arrangements with the souls on the other side. And he says, it's a blink of an eye. It's like a thunderclap. He says, your life, when you come here, it's a long time, but it's nothing on the other side. It's just an experience. And he talks about how you'll make arrangements. Like the one was the woman was going to be wearing a certain dress. It's in the unconscious.
Yeah.
So you know how people will say, I'm going to marry that woman. That's already planned on the other side lots of times. And there's a recognition. I have to go and meet her. Or the one says, I'll be carrying a green umbrella or something like that.
And my husband is always saying, we saw you on the beach.
Yeah.
In the seaside. And his friend said, I know one of them. So yeah. My husband remembers that, but moment is in his forehead.
But that's on the unconscious planned soul level. And so there's so much information in these to think about. And so just, come up with your own conclusions. But, it's a good life.
And we were going to the same stores. We were living 3 blocks apart. I knew his sister. He knew my brother. It was until he saw me on the swimming suit. It is odd, but that would make him to feel about me for years, because we didn't date that for 5 years.
So Robert Schwartz, and the spelling is SCHWARTZ. There's a lot of information out there on different sites about Robert Schwartz. But again, even though it's minus 26 here, going to a high, actually not, of minus 28 Celsius. We are cold, very cold. Just started a few days ago. We're very cold, but there's very little wind and it's nice and sunny. The dry, cold is easy to take. You just wear clothes.
Yeah, much easier than -5 in Poland.
Yeah, it goes right through to your bones and you can never warm up.
Yeah. So I want to give the remedy you sent me about the remedy for joints and bones.
The one this morning?
Yeah. So take 3 parts, equal parts, kind of raisin, pumpkin seeds, and flaxseed. Yeah. And put them together, mix them in a mixer, put them in a jar, cover them with the honey mix. It must be yummy. And it will serve you, it is 50 grams of pumpkin, 55 of pumpkin seeds, raisin, and flaxseed. But
ground flaxseed, mix it up, grind it first before you put in.
And then mix this with honey, 200 grams.
And then take a teaspoon, 1 teaspoon in the morning, 1 teaspoon at night, and it's supposed to help with joints and bones.
If you take it more, then you have to make it much more often.
And it says, eat only it's tablespoon. Eat only 1 tablespoon each morning on an empty stomach, and another spoon in the evening before bed. Anyway, see if that works, because there's good ingredients in there.
I was eating pumpkin seeds, and now my knee is better. So.
Pumpkin seeds are so good for our health.
Yeah. Okay, and we want to pray for Ruskin, Congressman Ruskin, that he is going to go through that tough journey fighting with cancer, chemo, and radiation. I think he's going through. And for peace in the world, in Ukraine, in Taiwan, everywhere, that somehow by magic everything will be great and people will be safe. Every one of us will be safe. There will be no more problem with railings. I'm worried that there will be another one, but I'm just hoping that they will be able to control now more, you know.
Are you talking about train accidents?
Yeah. And I see a plane accidents, I'm sorry. I'm feeling those things, and so we have to pray for safety from the earthquakes, from
And the weather that's happening in the States right now and in other places of the world. I just look at some of those pictures of the floods and the cold, and I can't imagine what people are going through.
yeah. And California is very cold now, and we are used to it, and we don't have too much
But it
snow.
comes and goes. We've actually had a nice winter.
Yeah, and not too much snow, just 2 feet so far, so it's unbelievable low for us. Take care of yourself, pray for peace, pray for success of good people, not bad.
And remember, I do take your screenshots from the live comments, and we'll take pictures of them and try to address them at another one.
Okay, take
But
care.
thank you for joining us, and you will see. Oh, what do you have coming up? Anything coming up?
I will do Friday. I will do what?
Were you doing a live?
Oh, I will be doing live with Linda.
Diane.
Diane, not this week. No.
Not this week?
No.
Because I listened to her and I thought she said it was this week.
Oh, I have Friday 24, but I have to listen to her. One second, Diane here.
Friday the 24th is this Friday. We're the 21st.
Oh, no, but March 24. Maybe I make mistake. And then next week I have Linda at 7 of March. I have Linda.
So she'll be sending.
No. Linda, I have on the 28th next week.
And that's on her channel too. And that's on Diane's channel. Violetta will put out something in advance to let you know that she's going to be on those particular channels when she firms up these times. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us, and
take care of yourself.
We just appreciate this so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay.